Hey guys, good to have you back. We're going to be now covering the kind of the second part of sales, getting really exciting right now. So Jeff, I guess we've talked about kind of the values and everything, but when we really kind of come up to a customer's house, there's some important things as far as connecting with that customer.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
just engaging them. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think engagement is one of those things that's super important to any success going forward. You can go out there and do every part of your job correctly, guys. But if you don't engage the customer, you're unlikely to ever wow them. You're unlikely to ever deliver excellent service because you were just a guy who did something at their home. You weren't a person. When we're talking about engagement, we're trying to find out how to connect with that customer on a human level, sort of to transform us, Matt, from being a technician looking at an air conditioner or a guy giving them a price on a unit to a neighbor coming in to give them advice. And when we're a neighbor or a friend and we're there to help them along, it's a completely different dynamic, right? There's more grace, there's more care. But guys, making that connection is hard. It's not easy, and it starts from the moment you walk up. And Matt is going to talk about that in a second. But there's some things you can do. Now, some technicians out in the field have told me some things they do. Some of the things they do is they look at a license plate. And Matt, you look at a license plate, you go, all right, this customer's from Idaho, and you go, okay, well, I'm going to ask them about that. I'm going to ask them about this license plate. Or they have the Buccaneers on their license plate. They have a boat in their driveway. They have a nice motorcycle, a nice car. Or silly things like you go inside their house and they got 200 clown statues. Okay? They got 200 clown statues, Matt. You don't think they want to talk about that?
That's not normal.
No, but they want to talk about it. Nobody puts 200 clowns in their house unless they want to talk about it. And so what you got to do is you got to talk to them about it. Ask them about the clowns. You might be fascinated to find out some of those things might be worth a lot of money, and they've spent 30 years collecting them. What you've done now, guys, is you have moved from being a guy who's there to fix an air conditioner to being a neighbor and a friend, and that's how we connect. Look at the pictures on the wall. Their husband served in the military. They have children. Ask them. Engage them. That will help us with that customer going forward. Not only that, it delivers an experience.
Sure does.
It delivers a memory. Matt, I think you had told me, and I love this story, about a story you had with the customer where you just had a hilarious experience. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So in my years, I've had just every type of situation you could possibly think of, but this is one that comes to mind. So I was out on Longboat Key, just an average house. Knocked on the door, and this big guy answers the door. Now, I'm not real tall, but he was pretty big, and that's okay. Just got, kind of talked a little bit, but he brought me into the garage, and there were like all these trophies, right? Like trophies as tall as I was. And so I was writing stuff down. I looked over and I said, oh my word, what is all this?
Yeah.
And so as he's talking to me, I lean over and I look at it. He says that he was the arm wrestling champ of the world for 3 years. And I'm like, get out of here. Are you serious? And we talked about that. There's just trophies all over the place. So we kind of hit it off. Real nice guy. But it was at the end of the call. He had signed the paperwork for a new air conditioner.
Right.
And we were just kind of, the mood was light. And I'm like, tell you what, I can't wait to go home and tell my family and everything. I'm like, let's arm wrestle.
Right.
So he was like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, but you don't kill me, And so we sit down. He has this big glass table. It was huge. It was thick. And his arm was like that big, and my stubby little arm is about that big. So he's back here, and I go to start arm wrestling this guy, and I am trying so hard. I'm giving it everything I have, right?
Yeah.
But I put too much weight down on this glass table, and it popped the whole end up and banged out. I'm surprised it didn't break. But he and I were both kind of scared, and but it was just really cool. We laughed about it.
Sure.
Went home, told people about it. It was just pretty neat. But that made me feel good. It made him feel good. It was just, I don't know, we connected.
Yeah, and Matt, you already made the sale.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do any of that.
No.
But that's the story that guy's going to tell. So we talk about how do we compel a customer to tell others. Well, you've given him a story he can tell others. You know, the Tri-County guy came over, almost broke his table, and he wiped the floor with you arm wrestling, but you tried. You got in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's
absolutely.
great. So we're going to try something new. We're sort of ending that little section there.
What
So
you
we're
got,
going to
Jeff?
we're going to take our notes here. We're going to see how we can make these notes fly here. We're going to see what we can do with it.
Okay.
This can be one of those parts where this plane can come back and hit me in the face,
Might.
or we can make it look really cool, and we don't know how to look. So I don't know, man. I think that
There
was
she
pretty
goes.
good.
I don't
I think
know.
that worked pretty
Scale
good.
1 to 10. I'm thinking I'd give that maybe a 3. It's pretty basic
Oh
design.
wow! Ouch.
Well,
A
I mean,
3?
we have room to
I
improve.
had it went up. They couldn't see it, but it like went up and did flips and stuff.
All right, I'll give it a 4. I'll give it a 4.
It's,
We'll have to
you're
see if we can
a
improve on
Russian judge over there.
that. I know. All right,
That's
what else
rough.
we got here?
Well, so we've talked a little bit about engaging the customer,
Yep.
but then we had mentioned a second ago that we needed to talk about what that looked like walking up to the customer's house.
Yep.
So Matt, you've done that a lot. How do we do that?
Okay, so there's just some common sense. First off, I mean, it's read your notes as you're going to this call. Find out all that you can. You're prepping yourself as you're driving up into the neighborhood. You're looking around, but as you park, you're going to walk up. You need to be in that frame of mind. They want to see a smile when you knock on that door, but as you're knocking on the door, you're still observing. So, but when they open up that door, to stand back, give a smile, and just say, "Hey, I'm Matt from Tri-County Air Conditioning. I'm here to, for me, it was, to give you a price, a new AC system." And that was part of it. I would say my name. I would ask their name. I would say, I would start off being very respectful. "Hello, Mrs. Smith," but she would say, "No, just call me Judy." So I'd like, "Okay, Judy."
Yeah.
But that's kind of how
And Matt,
we
you
would
use
start.
your first name
I did,
to be on a personal level
Yeah.
with the customer.
That's
Yeah.
a movement toward connecting, because
Yeah.
you're bringing it down. You're not being so formal, but there are times where I feel like it's good to begin off formal, depending. Especially when I ran into doctors, they're maybe retired or whatever, but
Yes.
they've worked hard for that title, and so I would always start off as, "Hey, Dr. Smith," and I would say that until they corrected me,
Yep.
because they have the right to do that. But there's etiquette that we can learn about, but that's really how we would start. Then it kind of goes into, as I would sit down, I would say, "Hey, can I just explain what I'm here for? Some of the details of that. That would get into a little bit of an evaluation, but I would
Right.
ask for that. Can I explain this?
Right. So you're walking up and you're engaging the customer. You're doing what we talked about in the last
Yeah.
video, where you're listening, we're offering, then we're going to deliver service excellence, and we're going to be consistent. And so you're doing that from the moment you get there.
Yes.
Is there times where you get up to that door and the customer just goes, "Hey, there's a thermostat," or you get the unit in the
Yeah.
garage?
Yeah.
You get to push through that, right? Because you still want that moment of engagement. How do you do that?
Well, first off, Jeff, I'm going to tell you that in sales, at least half or most people, they have a stranger coming to their house, right?
Right.
And they're a little on the defensive. You're walking into their space, so take it, guys, that most people are going to be kind of like that. It's a little awkward, okay? And they're inclined to just say, "You're here for the air conditioner, it's over there."
Right.
Well, I'm going to tell you that we're past the caveman days, okay, where
Yeah.
where we don't just grunt and point at things. We
Right.
we can actually start talking here.
Right.
So the evaluation, it's like, for me, Tri-County, what led to a lot of success is to just say, "Hey, I'm Matt. I'm here to give you an estimate. Would you mind if for me, I'd be like, could I come into your home and I just have a few questions to ask you?" And I would get them at the kitchen table or the living room. Okay, because I knew that no other AC company was doing that. They,
Right.
they were getting the point to the air conditioner, and there they went. They just did
Yeah,
what they
they're
were
doing
told.
the caveman approach. Yeah.
But it was in that evaluation that I could see the body language of my customer start to relax. They were watching me, and it just diffused. and then I could ask those questions. So if it was, service guy for, even for maintenance or service or
Yep.
whatever, just have that question like, hey, before I get started, after I've explained everything, but is there anything maybe I should know about before I get started?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's actually a really good question. Some people may be taken back by that, like, whoa, what does that mean? And you could offer like, well, has the system been running okay?
Right.
Things like that. Now, when we get into for estimates for equipment, that's a different type of evaluation. We would ask questions like, hey, so tell me how this AC system has been. How's it doing? Been running okay? That is great.
What are you looking for in temperature, so
Yeah.
forth like that, which you might not ask in a service call.
That's
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
For equipment sales, that's going to be a key question.
Right.
Hey, how's it been doing? Because you build off of that. Then you're going to like, hey, well, what temperature do you like to keep it at? Or warm rooms, colder rooms, things like that, and off balance. IAQ. How. You're asking IAQ questions as far as the home.
Sure.
So things like that. I mean, they could say, my kids are this or my husband are that. And they can get into that. And that's where you need to slow down and really listen and
Yes.
ask questions. All right, Jeff. Hey, it's my turn. I'm going to try this.
All right, I'll try
Think
to
I
be
can do
less.
a better design.
Oh, ouch! I'll try to be less of a Russian judge for you too.
Yeah, that would be nice too.
Yeah.
Don't mean to be Russian because I am all American. Have nothing against the Russian folks, but this design here is going to be more German, which I think is going to get a better. Here we go.
All right.
Here we go. Woo! Look at that stealth bomber right
Very
there.
good. Very good. I'd
All
give
right.
that a 7, 7.5.
7.5.
We got room to grow. So Matt, you've got your airplane throw. You did a great job of explaining all that. It sounds like at the end of this, we've connected, we've listened, we've offered, and we've delivered. And we would love for that to be cold. The reality is, when you put that together, it's Claude, right? So we're going to change the order of them. We're not telling you guys to do it in this order. We're going to say, guys, we want, someone say, hey, go out there, we're going to be hot. We're going to get hot in a basketball team and make lots of shots. So we want you to be cold. So we want you to connect. We want you to offer. We want you to listen. And we want you to deliver. And we believe if you could be cold, that will bring us what, Matt?
Yeah, that's going to bring us just great success. Bring all of us success. That's a great plan. That's a great acronym. I like it.
Yeah, so guys, go out there, get cold, have a great day, and thanks for your time.
Take care, guys.